On a quiet Tuesday, Mark found a plain white envelope waiting on the kitchen table. No logo, no return address, just his name written in the same careful handwriting he once used for birthday cards. He already knew what it was before he opened it. The final notice. Not because he was reckless, he told himself, but because life had been busy, and busy people put hard things off until the hard things start knocking. He slid a finger under the flap and felt his throat tighten as the paper scraped. The amount wasn't shocking anymore. What shocked him was the date at the top. He'd been living on borrowed time for months, smiling through dinners, laughing at work, saying, "We're fine," to his wife, as if repeating it could make it true. In the hallway, he could hear the dryer thumping, steady as a heartbeat. His wife, Elaine, was humming somewhere in the house. Mark stared at the notice and realized the real debt wasn't the number, it was the silence. He had hidden the credit card balances like a secret illness, hoping they'd heal if ignored. Now the bill had finally become a story that demanded an ending. That night, Mark confessed. No dramatic speech, just the envelope placed between them like evidence. Elaine didn't yell. She sat down slowly, as if anger would cost too much energy. "How bad?" she asked, the way someone asks a doctor. Mark listed the cards, the interest rates, the late fees, and the small lies that had stacked up. "I'll pay it next paycheck. It's just this once. We deserve a little comfort." Each sentence felt like dropping a stone into a well. Elaine went to the bedroom and returned with a notebook and a pen. "We're not going to drown quietly," she said. They started with truth, pulling every statement, every subscription, every forgotten free trial that wasn't free anymore. Mark expected shame to break him, but something else happened. Clarity. The debt was large, yes, but it was also measurable, and measurable things can be faced. They chose one card as the target and made a simple plan: minimum payments on everything else, extra on the smallest balance to build momentum. Mark canceled automatic spending that didn't serve them. He sold the motorcycle he barely rode, not as punishment, but as a decision. Elaine called the utility companies and negotiated due dates. Mark called 2 credit card companies and asked for hardship options. One reduced the interest rate for a fixed period. It wasn't a miracle, but it was a door cracked open. The hardest part came on a Saturday at the grocery store. Mark reached for brand-name comfort out of habit. Elaine didn't scold him. She just held up the store brand and said, "This is what a second chance looks like. Quiet, boring, and steady." Mark nodded, surprised to feel relief. For the first time in years, spending less felt like choosing more. 6 months later, the envelopes still arrived, but the tone had changed. They weren't final notices anymore. They were statements that slowly, stubbornly moved in the right direction. Mark didn't pretend he'd become a different person overnight. He still wanted the easy solution, the quick fix, the feeling that money could buy calm. But he learned something more useful. Calm is built, not purchased. On the day they paid off the first card completely, Elaine placed the receipt in the same notebook and drew a small line under it. No celebration dinner, no big announcement, just a quiet look between them that said, "We did not run." Mark realized the second chance wasn't the absence of problems, it was the return of honesty. His marriage felt lighter, not because their numbers were perfect, but because their reality was shared. Mark started keeping one rule taped inside his wallet. If it's not in the plan, it's not for today. The rule didn't make him feel deprived, it made him feel protected. From impulse, from shame, from the old habit of borrowing joy from tomorrow. Years later, he would tell a friend, "The scariest part wasn't the debt. The scariest part was thinking I had to carry it alone." And that was the lesson he wished he'd learned earlier. Money mistakes grow in the dark, but second chances start the moment the truth hits the table.